I've been a licensed insurance agent for over 20 years. And one of the biggest questions I get is how much life insurance do I really need? And so I'm going to answer that question for you and a few others in this video. So make sure you stay tuned to the end where I share with you a way that you can calculate exactly how much life insurance that you need to get. My name is Paris Clough and this is Financial Self-Reliance. I absolutely love helping people manage, protect, and grow their money. And in this video, we're going to talk about ways to protect your money. And protection is through insurance. Insurance is one of the most powerful ways for you to be able to protect the things that are most valuable to you in your life, whether it's health insurance, car insurance, homeowners insurance. But in this video, we're going to focus in on life insurance. And as of the recording of this video, it's the month of September. And I don't know if you know this, but September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. So in the spirit of being aware of understanding and a little bit more about what life insurance is, I'm going to share with you a few things that I want you to know about life insurance. I also want to make sure that you realize that if you do want to get a life insurance quote, you can either email me at hello@financialselfreliance.net or click the link in the description below where it says ETHOS Life and do a quote for yourself wherever you live, wherever you are, whatever situation you're in. If you click that link, it'll take you to a place where you can actually run your own life insurance quotes after we're done with this video so that you can know exactly how much you can get and how much it'll cost you. So the first question I want to answer here for you is, why is life insurance worth it? Now, if there's somebody that you care about that would suffer financially if you were gone, then you need to have life insurance, and that's why life insurance is worth it. If somebody that you care about would have a financial burden or financial stress or strain because if you're leaving this world or this earth, then you need to have life insurance to be able to come in and replace your income. That's the original reason to have life insurance, is to replace someone's income. So if you're a breadwinner, even if you're a secondary income to the house, it's important to have life insurance so that if you pass away prematurely or before you're ready to, that money that you have as a life insurance policy will come in and replace your income. So the next question I want to answer here is, what does life insurance cover? It covers a lot of things, actually. I know we just talked about how it replaces someone's income so that those that are left behind can continue to pay the bills and live and not have to sell the house or not have to move out or not have to live under the bridge downtown, so to speak. But the other reasons that it's good to have life insurance is because it can pay for funeral costs, estate costs, health insurance, mortgage, rent, groceries, utility, car loans, child care expenses. Another thing down here, it says future college costs, spouse or partner's retirement, planned inheritances, charitable gifts, and other things. It's important to know that there's a lot of things that life insurance can pay for, and there's a lot of costs. Not a lot of people know that when you pass away, there's a lot of costs that go into that. There's a lot of expenses. Sometimes when people pass away, there's huge medical bills that are incurred as those last 6 months of life are involved. And if somebody passes away untimely or really quickly, there might be some damage in a car accident or something like that. So there's always great reasons to have life insurance. Anytime I've ever met with somebody who had a loved one pass away, one of the things that they've always told me is that they never got too much life insurance. Often they would tell me that they wish they had gotten more. So that's a kind of a lead in to how much life insurance you should get, because most people don't realize that all of these expenses here. And so you really should have enough life insurance to take care of all of these expenses. Another big question I get actually often is, I'm young, I'm single, why do I need life insurance? Well, there's a different set of reasons why each person in whatever part of life they're in would need to have life insurance. So let's start with the first person here, or married or partnered person. So clearly, someone who's married or partnered, if you leave someone behind that's counting on your income, they're going to need to have that income replaced in order to be able to maintain their lifestyle. Sure, they could get married again. Sure, they could get repartnered. Sure, they could actually have maybe a downsize or move out or do something. But the fact that they've just lost somebody that they love dearly is going to put them in a situation where they're going to maybe want to make some decisions and maybe some life choices where they don't want to pursue the same career that they've had their whole life or up to that point. So one of the things I highly recommend is that you get enough life insurance so that somebody can take a break or maybe even take time to reevaluate what they want to do for the rest of their life and not have to be struggling or hurting or quickly make decisions because they have no money or they need to do something quickly because they don't have enough money coming in. One of the biggest things I see people do is that after a spouse or partner passes away, often they'll go get remarried really quickly, and often to the wrong person, and the reason why they go get married quickly is because they can't afford to live on their own. That's a sad thing that can be fixed by just having the proper amount of life insurance. So the next person is parents. Of course, if your mom or dad pass away, you're going to want to have some money to be able to take care of your situation and take care of you, especially if you're a minor. If you're 18 or older, then there's going to be some things that you're going to probably still need to do, depending on if you've moved out or if you're still dependent quite a bit on your parents and what they're offering you. So a lot of times people who are in school and they're on their parents' health insurance and other things, and now you have to do that on your own. You're going to want to have some money to be able to do that. So if your parents don't have life insurance, you're going to want to make sure that they have enough life insurance as soon as possible, so that when they pass away, that you have what you need to be able to take care of them. If they pass away in their 80s or 90s, hopefully you'll have established your career by then. You'll be financially set by then. But I've never had anybody tell me that an extra $50,000 or $100,000 or a couple $100,000 to split amongst the siblings was something that they regretted receiving. So you're going to lose a loved one, and that's absolutely sad, and it's horrible to lose someone that you love. However, if you have money coming in to help take care of the issues that are going on once that person leaves, it makes a bad situation a little bit better, or maybe you could say it helps a bad situation become less bad. So the next thing is retirees, people who retire. Why do you need life insurance? Well, a lot of people, one spouse or the other will outlive. And so if you have, for example, a husband that passes or outlives the wife, then the wife may not get as much Social Security or retirement income because maybe the husband was working more often than not. In general, that's usually the case. However, if it's the wife that was working more and has more of a retirement, and now she's passed away and her Social Security may not be available to the husband as much as he was receiving and getting and hoping for. So it's important to realize that even at the end stages of your life, there's still income and expenses to really consider and work through as you have a couple that's been living together for so long, and now there's one person gone. You're going to need to work on what to do now to be able to finish out those last few years of someone's life. Business owners need life insurance as well as part of a key person insurance. That's something, but I want to get into, it doesn't really talk about in this particular article why a single person or a young single person would need to have life insurance. And it's not critical. It's not a huge thing. However, it is something to really think about and consider. If you're a teenager or your early 20s, you might say to yourself, I have no responsibilities. I have nobody to look after. I have nobody, if I do pass away, nobody's going to be financially burdened by that. But I'm going to ask you this question. If you died today, who would pay to bury you? Who would pay to put you in the ground? Who would pay for all of your funeral expenses? And when you think about funeral expenses, I want you to realize that they're $10, $15, in some cases $20,000 to have a funeral. And if $10,000 or $20,000 would put somebody that you love, a parent, a mom, a dad, a grandparents, or aunts or uncles, or somebody, if that amount of money would put somebody in a hardship, then you ought to have life insurance on your life, just to at least to cover the bare minimum of those final expenses, to put you in the ground and make sure that all of your situation, your estate is settled and your life is, all those end of life costs are taken care of. So there are reasons to have life insurance if you're young and single, and you don't necessarily need to have hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars of life insurance, but definitely have enough to take care of the burial expenses and those final expenses. So really quickly, I want to talk to you about what the different kinds of life insurance are. And there's two major kinds. One is term life insurance. Term is for temporary. So it only lasts for 10, actually lasts for 5 to 30 years. And then you can renew it after that. And usually if you do renew it after that, it's significantly more expensive. But term insurance is really good because it's extremely affordable. It's often just streamlined. It's just the bare bones cost of the life insurance, and you can get a really good deal. I'd rather have somebody covered with something than nothing. And if all you can afford is term insurance, get as much term insurance as you can for the amount of money that you can afford. Now, I highly recommend, though, if somebody is really considering long-term planning or really doing some estate planning or really accumulating wealth and building something worthwhile, that you really look very closely into something called permanent insurance. There's different kinds of permanent insurance. A lot of people think of whole life. There's actually one of my favorites, which is called indexed universal life, and it's a fantastic tool. It's a fantastic way to use money and store money and do some incredible financial things with that tool. So if you want to know more about what it takes to be or have a permanent life insurance, or whether you should do term or permanent, make sure to send me an email at hello@financialselfreliance.net, and I will do my best to make sure that you get the answers that you need specific to your situation. Also, remember to click the link in the description below under ETHOS Life and run an illustration for yourself. So finally, I want to share with you that how much life insurance do I need? And this is the whole purpose and point of this video. I thought some of those other questions would be important and pertinent to you, but really there's some things that you need to consider. The first one is a calculation called the DIME method. But before I talk about what the DIME method is, put in the description below, do you have life insurance now? Are you shopping for life insurance now? Are you interested in getting more life insurance? If you have some already, do you want more? So let me know what kind of things you've heard about life insurance and what kinds of things you're dealing with, questions you might have about life insurance and what you should be doing with life insurance as part of your financial portfolio. The rule of thumb on any type of life insurance is if you're young, then you should go 15 times your annual income. So if you're making $50,000 a year, 15 times your annual income is going to be $750,000. If you're older and you've already established and you've got some wealth, you've got some retirement, you've got some assets built up and some things accumulated, then you can go towards 50s, 60s, somewhere in there. You could probably do 5 times your annual income. So if you make $100,000, 5 times your annual income would be $500,000. If you're somewhere in the middle there and you're in your 30s or 40s and you've not really built a ton of wealth, you've not really built a lot of assets up, then maybe 10 times your annual income would be good for you there. Although you can still go up to 15, and that's what most insurance carriers, if you apply for more than 15 times your annual income, they're going to start to ask you why you need that much insurance. If you apply for less than that, of course they're going to be okay with that, but if you're doing less than 5 times your annual income, you're really not going to have enough insurance to take care of those final expenses and to replace income. A lot of people want to buy life insurance to maybe pay off the mortgage or pay off some of their student loans or their debts, and then maybe set up a fund for their kids for college, or maybe set up a retirement account for the person they leave behind to be able to then have that build and those assets build for the next 10 or 20 years until they retire. So give that like a funding, like fund that retirement account early. So just make sure there's a lot of reasons why you can have different types of life insurance too. So you can have maybe some term insurance to pay off the mortgage, and then you can have a permanent insurance policy to kind of build that more long-term estate planning or more of that long-term planning process. So you can have different kinds of life insurance. But the DIME method is the letter D stands for debts. So take all your debts and add them up. The next thing you want to do is take your income, which we've talked about. So DI. I is for income. So your income is going to be, take your income and multiply that by 5 to 15, depending on your age and kind of what assets you have already built up. And then M, or so DIM, the M is for mortgage. Would you want to pay your mortgage off with your life insurance? If you do, great. If you don't, and you want to set aside a chunk of money that can then maybe you can pull off and pay the mortgage, keep the mortgage there, but maybe pull off some money from that asset and to pay it every month, then that's the M part of it. And then E is for education. Anything you want to do for education for your kids, or maybe even education for the spouse you leave behind, because if there's a job that they're in just to kind of supplement the income and you're the major breadwinner, they may want to go back to school so they can get a degree so they can actually earn more money so that they can live on their own and not have to make those decisions. So the DIME method is the simple, easy, kind of the old school, the OG version of how to calculate how much life insurance you need. So D is for debts, I is for income, M is for mortgage, and E is for education. And so that's the DIME method. I hope you've got a lot out of this video. I hope you now know kind of how you can calculate how much life insurance you really need. You'll probably find that you need more life insurance than you thought before you watched this video. So I hope that you got a lot out of this. Again, make sure that you go into the description below, click the link under ETHOS Life, and do a quote for yourself. And if you have any further questions, hit me up at hello@financialselfreliance.net. I'll be happy to help or answer any questions you might have. If you missed the last video I produced, you can find it here. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel up here and check this video out up here that YouTube thinks you might like. Until next time, have a great day.